All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, very excited to be speaking to an individual who will be competing at Oktagon 74, which goes down on August the 9th. We have Dominik Humburger stepping into the Oktagon cage to take on Mark Hulme in a very intriguing middleweight matchup, and great having Mark on the program today. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking, and thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, no, it's nice to be talking to you again here on Bowks Talking Bouts. We got a chance to talk ahead of your Octagon debut, and since that happened, it seemed like quite the emphatic way to enter the promotion. First round, Octagon debut. Yeah, quite the impressive victory, and a very notable opponent, to say the least, in Andreas Michailidis. Just, was that the perfect way that you could have, I guess, entered the Octagon space because you beat such a highly touted opponent and you're advancing in this big tournament as well?
In many ways, it was the perfect opponent. It was the most perfect time, but it was also very imperfect in the sense of I tore my lat about 2 weeks before the fight. I went to a doctor. Nothing much we can do. I told him, just keep quiet. I don't want you to tell anyone. If you tell anyone, they're going to stress. They're going to stress me out. I'm going there to do business, and getting it done in the first round with a torn lat was quite a highlight for me.
And I think that makes it that much more impressive if you think about it in a certain sense, because, yeah, I believe you finished him even quicker than, Alex Pereira was able to finish Michailidis. So, I mean, something kind of incredible within that. I mean, a former middleweight and light heavyweight champion in the UFC, and you get this opponent out of there in quicker fashion with a torn lat, no less.
I'll be honest with you, it felt amazing, but I wasn't shocked. I wasn't surprised. This is quite literally my life. It's not a job. It's somewhat of a career, you could say, but this is my lifestyle, bro. If I could fight every day and not go to jail, I probably would.
Yeah, it seems like something you're quite passionate about and dedicated towards, and that's really demonstrated in these massive results you're getting for sure, man. But it must be exciting to be advancing within this Tipsport Gamechanger Tournament and everything like that, and taking on, such a, intriguing opponent in Humburger here. I mean, he seems to be a guy that people are, buzzing about to a certain extent as well, just as your last opponent had that certain cachet behind them. So I guess just in saying that, I feel like if you get your ideal outcome in this fight, it would be, I guess, just even a further boost to your career efforts and all.
I agree, bro. This is the biggest opportunity of my life. Having the most fun that I've had in my life doing it. And to be honest with you, I've studied each and every person in the Tipsport Gamechanger Tournament. And I was there the night that Humburger fought, and I watched Jotko as well. I watch all the guys, but I watch Humburger especially, and I thought to myself, here's a guy that I can really use to elevate my career. Here's someone that will bring the heat, someone that's composed under pressure, someone that's got a name, someone that's got a following, and someone that I can ultimately crucify on the night, make an example of, and just take the next step to those semifinals.
And that's interesting because I've talked to different fighters who are usually in tournament fields like this, and I feel like some of them don't necessarily study the broader field. Like, it almost exists on a case-by-case basis level, but I like that you have such a, I guess, lay of the land in terms of, like, all the people who are kind of spread across through this tournament while also being, squarely focused on this fight. It seems like you've struck a good balance within the overall tournament structure, but giving the due focus to the matchup as well.
Know yourself and your enemy, and you will win all of the fights ahead. Sanchu said something like that. I've never been a big believer, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't usually study my opponents, but the Tipsport Gamechanger has really. They've awarded me that opportunity that, I got Michailidis first. I didn't have a choice, so Michailidis was the only person that I thought about. And after I beat him, I didn't have an opponent. So I had time to go and study everyone in the tournament. The Oktagon actually flew me over to, I don't want to say Prague because it wasn't in Prague, but like in Czech, and to come watch the tournament and to come choose my next opponent. So being in a 4-fight tournament with the idea to get to the finals and win, you can't just, I mean, it really doesn't matter who you fight, but if you look at your road to the finals, it would be wise to look for the, how can I say, the smaller fish. And I wouldn't say Dominik is a smaller fish, but I've definitely identified a lot of weakness in his technique. I think the only thing that he really has going for him is his composure, his right cross and his left hook, and you're going to need a lot more to come up against me.
It's interesting. Did you, I guess, find yourself having a similar kind of observational pattern when you were on The Ultimate Fighter, like in as far as like scouting out certain people in that kind of regard? Like obviously there's, I guess, certain factors beyond your control as far as like the kind of people that you're, I guess, going to eventually get matched up with, but was there that similar kind of process through your tenure on The Ultimate Fighter, like just kind of studying the smaller fish, I believe was your operative wording there?
I'll be honest with you, the Ultimate Fighter is nothing in comparison to this tournament in the Oktagon. My memory is quite dazed from the Ultimate Fighter. I don't think it's a secret. I did not enjoy my time there. I did not enjoy the way we were being coached. And ultimately, I didn't really enjoy the fight. But I did take from that. I took a lot from that, and I think I had a metaphorical death while I was in the Ultimate Fighter. And to be brutally honest with you, I was telling one of my coaches the other day, I'm already dead, man. Like, I'm dead. So I don't worry about the outcome. I'm not stressing about the fight with Humburger. I'm not stressing about the fight against the middleweight champ or Mick Stanton, who's in my bracket. I'm literally just taking this day by day, brother. I've already died, and all I can do is step in the best shape of my life, mentally in the best shape of my life, and put on a performance for the fans. That's where my heart is right now, is to come out there and really show the fans violence, get up in his face, and hopefully draw some blood while I'm doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so incredible. Like, you obviously get in such incredible work with the company you keep, so you're shoring up all these skills, and I imagine it's tremendously exciting to show them off to the world, and especially with a promotion like Oktagon, who is just doing such incredible things, like just so demonstrably successful out there, and just love to see, I guess, the platform they're able to provide for fighters. So yeah, I would think that it would be tremendously exciting for you to be able to showcase your skills on what is such a massive platform already, but one that also seems like it's keeping growing throughout Europe and just growing in general.
Look, I'll tell you, I fought in EFC, I fought in UAE Warriors, I fought in Brave, I fought in the Ultimate Fighter, I fought in Australia. I don't even know what organization that was. Oktagon is doing something truly special in the sport. When I go there, I'm not just another athlete, I'm not just another fighter, but someone that the fans actually look up to. I'm someone that people appreciate. Oktagon brings that part of the show where, in one way, they put up an incredible show. And I mean, if you look at the UFC, that's what they do. They put on shows. Fighting is just the way they do it. Where with Oktagon, it feels to me that they're going back to the fighters. Like the fighters are the centerpiece of every event, and it's nice to feel appreciated. It's nice to see I've been doing this professionally for 12 or 13 years. You see the efforts being rewarded.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing, man. And especially with, I guess, so much talk in recent years about, I guess, how oversaturated certain parts of the MMA landscape can be. Like, I feel like Oktagon really does stand out as like one of the more vibrant kind of MMA promotions out there in that kind of sense. And yeah, like you said, a lot of, I guess, effort put into the production value, and that was a good way to put it, in the sense of like really, I guess, revering the fighters and the spotlight more so being on them as opposed to, I guess, the branding of some shows, I guess.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that, man. I can't tell you expressively what it is, but if you sit in an Oktagon event, you're going to get your money's worth. You see people like Surdu coming out in a fucking Dracula outfit. You see Humburger with his platoon following him out. You know, like, people can really be themselves, and part of who I am is I like to have fun. I like to be goofy. But also when the time comes, I'm fucking serious, and you better believe I'm going to try to hit you.
And even just like the scope of your career that I've kind of anecdotally been somewhat tied to, like, you've really, I guess, shown yourself to be a person who's not really, I guess, averse to being that away player. Like, I was there when you fought Zach Powell in Toronto, Ontario, and just very game display there, and I guess an even similar thread through this fight, just fighting Dominik Humburger, who is like a Czech favorite, and just kind of taking him on like pseudo home turf. So it doesn't seem like those aspects of being the away player really factor into your approach at all. It seems like you're kind of down to apply your trade wherever.
Yeah, I think that comes from our ancestry, the Buddha. You know, we came to South Africa, and I'm actually reading an interesting book now. It's an autobiography of the Afrikaner, and it's so funny because one thing about me, before I read this book, I really cherish my independence. I cherish my liberty. I don't want people to tell me what to do. If I want to do something, and you know, I'm not saying if I want to take something from someone. I mean, if I want to chase a career in MMA, then I will chew bricks to do that. I'll go sleep in a gym. I'll walk to Cape Town. I'll ask you to do that, and don't do anything otherwise. And very similar with my ancestors, the Afrikaners. They came to South Africa, and it's funny because I call this the European invasion, going there to check, to murder these guys. But it's actually a lot of Europeans that came to South Africa looking for their independence, looking to move out from under the man. And in many ways, this tournament is a way for me to amass some sort of power in this capitalistic society of ours, so that I can truly stand on my own 2 feet and just live my life, bro. You know, so many people forget what life is about. Life isn't about 9 to 5, fucking chasing paychecks so that you can have a little bit of fun on the weekend, shake your dick around, and then Monday morning your boss is going to shit on your head again.
I guess what kind of freedom are you looking for within that? Like, if you do get your ideal goal and win this, you know, sizable tournament prize outright, like, how is that going to serve the kind of life you're, I guess, looking to live thereafter? Like, I guess, what does that look like for you, like breaking out of that 9 to 5 sort of paradigm that you talked about there?
Let me just firstly say that I do believe I live one of the more free lifestyles out there. And I think that's been my saving grace is MMA. You know, like, nothing else matters, bro. I've started camps where my friend and mentor asked me, where you going to sleep? What you going to eat? What, you know, like, what's your plan? I tell him, I don't have a plan, bro. My plan is to go sleep tonight wherever the fuck my head falls. Wake up tomorrow morning. I've got to do my session, stand up. I've got to do my jet session. I've got to do my wrestling. I've got to do my conditioning. And then that night, wherever I fall is where I fall. Whatever I eat is whatever I eat. There's only one thing that matters, and that is getting to this fight. And in a similar way, that's how I approach life. That's how I approach this fight, and that's how I'm approaching this tournament. I've thought about it a lot. I've thought about that paycheck a lot. And in many ways, I don't believe I'll just go out spending it. I will most certainly invest into land somewhere, private property. And I mean, after fighting, brother, I don't know what life holds for me. I really don't. But I'm looking for a lifestyle, and in farming, I see a similar lifestyle as MMA, not a lot of beatings to be handed out, but at the end of the day, it's also not waking up every day at the same time to go do the same shit. It's like you're on the clock 24/7. If a fence is broken, you got to go fix it. If a water pump's not working, you got to go fix it. If the cow needs feeding, you got to go feed. So I think that's my dream for now. I don't know when the check lands, but for now, my dream is a farm somewhere after fighting.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I just thought to ask because it kind of struck me the last time we were talking, the journey that you had gone on from Victoria to Cape Town and just, you know, all these mountain peaks you've been climbing up and stuff like that. I just didn't know if you were maybe wanting to indulge in more of like those kind of things, like I guess the immersive, like, I don't know, physical journeys within nature, trying to figure out certain meanings of life sort of things and stuff like that. But yeah, I get what you mean. It's just good to break out of that, I guess, 9 to 5 paradigm, or just this idea of, I guess, like being rigidly forced to like live your life a particular way and just like, hey, I'm going to carve out my own path kind of thing.
Yeah, like I said, I think that's buried very deep inside of me. That comes from my ancestors. And yeah, it's not all doom and gloom, but I do know that I don't fit into normal society. Like, societal norms are not normal for me. I have done a lot of, I've pursued God, I've pursued wisdom, and what I've realized is I know absolutely nothing. But what I do know is I don't want to go sit in an office and work for money that ultimately will just keep me alive to go work for more money.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, man, and you've done such great things, and it seems like a lot of great things are potentially on the horizon here, no doubt. But that, I guess, fight with Zach Powell in Toronto, I guess I mentioned it partly because that seemed like such a big weekend for CIT, just with Dricus du Plessis cementing himself as the UFC middleweight champion through that weekend. And we've been talking about the kind of great work that you guys get, just that, I guess, defined refinement and progression on a fight-to-fight basis. Can you, I guess, give some insights, like not in a way to, I guess, divulge aspects of like a game plan per se, but can you just give us this certain idea of the kind of Dricus du Plessis we're going to see in this upcoming Khamzat Chimaev fight? Because I feel like a lot of people are quite excited for that fight, and you have a very unique, direct, anecdotal connectivity to the UFC middleweight champion right now.
I will tell you that you guys can expect fireworks. I believe you will see DDP 2.0. He's definitely putting in the work this side. He's doing everything a lot more scientific, and time will tell, brother, but I can tell you personally, I believe we're gonna bring that belt back to South Africa.
And it seems like you guys have such an incredible team and stuff like that. Like, you have your own, I guess, methods that you implement. Like, I remember double distance was something we kind of talked about last time, and things of that persuasion. Like, what do you think it is about CIT and your guys' methodology? Like, again, not in a way to divulge trade secrets per se, but it seems like everyone from that team is so demonstrably successful. Like, what do you, I guess, credit to the individual members of that team succeeding in MMA as they have?
Great coach, great team, and once again, I mean, I cannot express the importance of our heritage. We are one of the societies that has been out of war for the shortest amount of time. I don't know if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's in us, bro. It's fucking in us, bro. I've seen kids get wrecked in school. I've seen some crazy fights. Like, people go out on the weekend in South Africa. After 10, you're going to get into a fight. They say if you're not in bed by 10, you're going to get into a fight. Like, we just love it, bro. We were born for it. It's like we're a fighting nation, but we have nothing to fight for at this moment.
Yeah, it really seems like there's something that just underpins the culture like that, because whenever I do interviews with South African fighters, I feel like I see such a surge of enthusiasm from South African fight fans and just like a big surge of support. Like, do you I guess really feel that kind of surge of support from your compatriots and everything? Because I guess anecdotally, with my experience interviewing South African fighters, it seems like there's always such a surge of enthusiastic fans commenting and just checking it out and showing support for the area fighters and everything.
Brother, sorry, you caught me. I've run out of time here. My humblest apologies. They booked me like back to back, so the next guy's already on my ass to start the next meeting. If you want to just rephrase that question, I'll answer it, but then I'm going to have to go.
Oh, no worries, man. My apologies. Definitely didn't mean to encroach on another interview or anyone else's time. I guess in saying all of...
You couldn't have known, dude. You couldn't have known.
But no, man, it's all good. It's always great getting to talk to you. I guess in even saying that, though, I figured I'd give you the floor in case you maybe have a final parting thought you wanted to add as we're wrapping up here on Bowks Talking Bouts. I appreciate you making the time, Mark.
Brother, I truly appreciate you. I actually remember you now that we started talking a little bit. I mean, what can I say? Mark Hulme MMA. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see some crazy shit or not. 9th of August, I leave it all in the cage. Make sure to tune in.
It's definitely one of the more intriguing fights at Oktagon 74 for my money. Just, yeah, really stoked for this Dominik Humburger fight. And again, Mark, really appreciate you coming on Bowks Talking Bouts again. And yeah, like I said, I'll be checking out the fight when it goes down. But until then, all the best with the remaining stretch of your preparations. And just also have a good rest of your day too, man. Thank you.
I appreciate your time. I appreciate the cool questions you ask. Have a blessed one. And I'll hopefully talk to you again soon, bro.